All right, what's up, y'all? AWB, we back at it. We're gonna go ahead and get started with this case. To start off, I'm just gonna play the event that happened. So we're dealing with right now. These people were arrested and searched, and they were arrested, searched, and something else. But basically, these people are basically they're basically trying to keep their neighborhood protected. They are uh, doing patrolling because they have had a lot of break-ins in the area, so they want to stop that. So they're patrolling the area at nighttime. Well, I don't know if it's just at nighttime, but this was at night, and the cops pulled them over, or the cops stopped them and basically tried to force them to give up their First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, and I'm assuming the Fifth Amendment, because as soon as they start asking you questions and you don't answer questions, it's like they're forcing you to give up that Fifth Amendment. So they end up taking their weapons, taking their camera, and pretty much searched them. So they violated. It's like when the cops pull you over or they stop you and they see that you have a firearm, it's like they're gonna violate your First, Second, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment off the bat. So let me go ahead and play it from.
You guys know this guy? He says he's a landlord. Listen to me. Listen to me. What's your name?
Well, you provided the tax here by Fabio Segmento.
74, go ahead.
That's your problem. That is your problem, man. If you do a better job of identifying yourself late at night, you're carrying this.
Hey, it's about to be exchanged.
No, record this, brother. You're carrying this late at night.
Which is not legal.
Listen, that's your problem. You're not a good listener.
Okay.
We're crossing the street. That's a public park. You own that side. But that's a city park that listen up. That's a city park that we patrol.
Okay.
There was just a shooting on the Mexico side where a lady on this side got shot.
Okay.
There's plenty of witnesses. They're all cops, man.
I'm the
weapon?
Okay.
So, mira, ya we clear you out.
Okay. ¿Qué es tu verse number?
I don't have to get this.
No,
It's
¿es
your
tu policía?
property. It's your
¿No
property.
es tu policía? Le preguntamos al chief.
Okay. So, this is your property. You will check. You're clear. That's it. That's it.
That's it for now.
That's it for now.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lawsuit. ¿Y tú personalmente?
Yeah, not gonna lose any sleep, bro.
No.
For what? That's local. You got that crazy look on your face, man. You get sued for what? You're walking around como loco en la noche. Take that to court. Let's fight it in court.
No,
Go for
bueno, okay.
No, it's because that's all we do is go to court. So para que tú me quieras
Okay.
asustar con un
No,
lawsuit,
no,
por
te
favor,
estoy,
bro.
no te estoy asustando, pero no,
No me asusto.
no
Para
te ven
nada.
lo que estás haciendo.
No, tú estás nada mano en la cabeza, bro. I got experience. A ti te corrieron de jail. You're a jailer, bro. Por favor.
¿Cuándo trabajó en Gio?
We're investigators. Come on.
¿Cuándo trabajó en Gio?
¿Para qué tú dices jailer?
Tengo jailer license. Gio no tiene, ellos son
Ah, bueno.
security.
Okay.
Yo no,
No gano contigo, bro. No gano.
We're done.
We're done, man.
right, so we're gonna get into the first deposition, which is right here. Oh yeah, this is, if I didn't say it before, this is from Corner News channel. So if you haven't subscribed to his channel, go ahead.
Mr. Rincon willingly it's on the cell phone?
Not that I saw.
You think he gave it willingly?
Oh, no.
Do you own any boats?
No.
Officer Fernandez, are you familiar with Texas Penal Code 38.02?
I would have to see what it is.
It's the failing to identify statute.
For the most part, yes.
In general terms, can you explain what it says? What are the elements to charge someone for failing to ID?
Can I have to stop the recording?
Judy, back up.
We are on the record. This is the video deposition of Officer Roberto Fernandez, Jr. in the matter of Ismael Rincon versus City of Laredo, Texas, et al. Cause number 521CV45, pending in the United States District Court, Southern District of Texas, Laredo Division. We're located at the Office of Texas Pictorial, 2611 East Elm Street, Laredo, Texas. Today's date is July 11th, 2023. The time is 9:35 a.m. My name is George Gonzalez. I'm the certified legal video specialist and notary public. Will counsel please introduce themselves and whom they represent?
Alicia Craig, representing Officer Fernandez.
Ismael Rincon, I'm a pro se plaintiff.
Officer Fernandez, would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may lower your hand. We may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Good morning. As you may be aware, I'm a pro se plaintiff in this matter for which you're being deposed. This matter in versus yourself, other officers doing your work, and the City of Laredo. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you mind if I refer to you as officer or you prefer? Okay. So I'm going to let you know that I will try and make this deposition as brief as reasonable. We are scheduled for less than a couple hours, but hopefully we can complete in less time. And the questions, any reference to myself will be as Mr. Rincon, okay? If I ask you a question you do not understand, just let me know. I will repeat or try to rephrase it. Please only respond to the question asked. If you do not, I will immediately interrupt and direct you to answer only the question asked. Otherwise, I think we can proceed. Okay. I'm going to go over a couple of things. I'm going to remind you that you're under oath. It means you agree to require to tell the truth. Plan to do that, correct?
Yes.
For this deposition today, we're going to try and preserve a clear record. So when I ask a question, I would appreciate a yes or no for an answer using ordinary words instead of hand gestures, as it will make the transcript more clear. Agree?
Yes.
Also, if you'd like to take a brief break, you're welcome to. Just let me know, and we will. However, I'd like to ask not to break mid-question. Do you have any questions for me before we begin? Regarding the exhibits, Exhibit 3 and 4 will be referring to body camera and dash cam of Officer Benavides from the April 27, 2019 encounter on my property. This footage was provided to me by Laredo Police Department in response to my later public information request. Exhibit 5A through C reference in this deposition refer to footage from my cell phone camera on this same incident. Will you please take the name for the record?
My name?
Mhm.
Robert Fernandez.
Are you currently taking any medications that would interfere your ability to complete this deposition today?
No.
Do you have any medical conditions that would interfere with the ability to proceed with this deposition today?
No.
Did your attorney help you prepare you for this deposition?
Objection. Privilege.
Who's your current employer?
The Laredo Police Department.
What is your present job title?
I'm a homicide investigator.
How long have you been employed by the city of Laredo?
8 years.
Were you employed by the city of Laredo on April 27, 2019?
Yes.
What was your job title at the time?
I was an officer.
How long had you been employed as a police officer with the city of Laredo at that time?
What was the year?
2019. April 27, 2019.
4 years.
What is your present age?
32.
Were you born in the United States of America?
Yes.
Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime of moral turpitude?
No.
Do you know what a crime of moral turpitude is?
No.
It means crime involving dishonesty, fraud, things of that nature.
No.
Have you ever been sued for civil rights violations relating to your employment as an officer?
No.
Have you ever been deposed in a federal civil lawsuit?
No.
Have you read the original complaint or any of the amended complaints in this matter?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Have you watched the videos attached to the complaint in the last 2 months?
No.
On the day of the shooting, were you employed by the city of Laredo as a peace officer on the date of the encounter with Mr. Rincon, April 27, 2019?
The shooting?
We'll get to that in a bit.
What was the date?
April 26, 2019.
Yes.
What was your work schedule on Friday, April 26, 2019, and Saturday, April 27, 2019, if you recall?
I don't recall.
Do you recall the shooting of April 26, 2019 at approximately 10:30 p.m. involving Maria Barranza, the victim of 611 Buckwheat Drive in Laredo, Texas?
I do not recall.
It was believed by the investigator to have been a .50 caliber weapon fired from across the border from Mexico, whose bullet allegedly struck her in the cheek. You don't recall?
Vaguely, but not really.
Do you know that crime was solved?
No, I do not know.
Do you recall what you were doing on April 26, 2019, the shooting?
I don't recall.
You don't recall. Did you appear in the scene of Maria Barranza's home at any time immediately following the shooting?
I don't recall. No, I don't remember.
Okay. Did you prepare and submit any paperwork or report regarding the shooting?
No, not that I know.
On this particular day of work, were you alone or was there another officer riding with you
For which incident?
for the same incident?
The one by Buckwheat? Or no, I've been by myself.
And what about the other?
No, I've been by myself.
Were you wearing a body-worn camera during this encounter with Mr. Rincon?
I do do not recall if that was. I had one issued, but I don't remember the exact date when I had it issued.
At approximately 12:43 a.m., April 27, 2019, couple hours later after the shooting, did you arrive on scene in the area of 1102 South Meadow in Laredo, Texas?
Yes.
Were you in your police cruiser?
Yes.
What prompted you to go to this location? Were you dispatch, routine patrol, pursuit?
I believe the officer requested additional units, so I was in the area and I responded.
What do you recall was stated in general terms? If you can't recall specifically what was said in the dispatch regarding officers' need for backup.
I don't remember.
Don't recall. How long would you estimate or guess it took you to arrive after receiving this notice? Less than 5 minutes, more than 5 minutes?
I don't recall.
Were you required to appear at this location?
It's part of my duties, so
So
I
you
would
were.
say yes.
Okay. This encounter took place in Mr. Rincon's property?
That I do not know.
You do not know? Okay, let's look at Officer Benavides' body footage from this incident, Exhibit 4, 00 seconds through 0.25 second mark.
It's a Ruger 1022. Yeah, it's a Ruger 1022 rifle. You guys know this guy?
Did you agree this section depicts a location of the encounter with Mr. Rincon?
Yes.
Do you agree there are at least 5 police department cruisers on scene?
I wouldn't be able to tell you that.
Do you agree that there appears to be at least 7 officers on scene?
From what I saw, there was 3.
Okay, now we're gonna see Exhibit 4, 2-minute 20-second mark through 2-minute 40-second mark.
You're walking around with a gun at night. Yeah, but ahorita. Yeah, it comes out of your cell phone.
In this video section, Officer Benavides, can you identify yourself?
I believe I'm the one detaining.
The one behind me?
Yes.
Now let's look at Exhibit 5A, 0.00 seconds through 0.038 second mark.
your ID, bro? No. What's your name?
I'm not gonna be able to play that video. I don't have the code for that one. Can you play that?
Okay.
It shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. We just want to make sure. You can record on your. Just give me your name. Just give me your name. No, I didn't break work. Just give me your name here. No, you're gonna talk to him right now. ¿Cómo te llamas tú? What's your name? Hey. Listen to me. Listen to me. ¿Cómo te llamas?
So in this video section, can you identify Officer Elizondo?
I believe he's the one that's walking up towards you.
Can you identify Lieutenant Ramirez?
Yes.
Can you identify yourself?
No. I didn't see myself in that video.
But in the previous video, you did see
Yes.
yourself. Okay. Who else can you identify in the video?
Just Officer Benavides from the previous video. And this one, I don't know who's talking to you.
If you want to play it again.
Yeah.
Sure.
It shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. We just want to make sure.
Can you identify him?
Just give me your name. Just give me your name. No, I didn't break work. Just give me your name here. No, you're gonna talk to him right now. ¿Cómo te llamas tú? What's your name? Hey. ¿Cómo te llamas? Listen to me. Listen to me. ¿Cómo te llamas?
I don't know who that is.
Okay. Let's move on. Is that Officer Elizondo reaching to take Mr. Rincon's cell phone?
Possibly. I'm not too sure. The video cuts off. I'm not too sure.
The officer that was in his the hood of his unit and approached Mr. Rincon, is that Elizondo?
Yes.
Do you know why Mr. Rincon's cell phone was seized?
No.
Let's look at Officer Benavides dashcam footage from this incident recording portion of the encounter exhibit 3 at 1 minute 40-second mark through 2:35 from this incident. This was taken about the same time as my recording in the previous exhibit 5A, which you just watched.
Oh.
No, I didn't break work. Just broke on the door. Pero tenía la gente.
Secret attack here by biography.
Huh?
When you provided the tax here by Bobby Middle.
Tony, go ahead.
Joel.
Does this video section depict you in frame near Mr. Rincon?
I do not believe so. Can we play it again? Just so I can, I guess, sure. Make sure, because I don't see myself in there.
Can you repeat the time marks for this one? I can't see on the screen.
It's Exhibit 3, 0147 through 0235.
Someone just bedtime on that bill. No, I didn't break for Jesus. From one six or something. Everything on the same side.
Secret attack here by biography.
Huh?
When you provided the tax here by Bobby Middle.
Tony, go ahead.
And I want to be able to tell you where I was at.
Are you not the officer with the flashlight that walked through the
I
server?
wouldn't be able to tell.
Does this video section demonstrate Officer Elizondo walking away from the hood of his cruiser towards Mr. Rincon?
Yes.
Does this video section demonstrate Officer Elizondo reaching and apparently taking Mr. Rincon's cell phone while he's recording the encounter in this exhibit?
Possibly, yes.
Does this video section demonstrate Officer Elizondo approaching Mr. Rincon?
Yes.
Does this video section demonstrate that Mr. Rincon's phone is being taken from Officer Elizondo?
Objection asked and answered.
So it's worded differently. Did Officer Elizondo ask Mr. Rincon to give his cell phone?
Objection hearsay. You can answer.
You can answer.
Um,
I can repeat the question.
yes, please.
Did Officer Elizondo ask Mr. Rincon to give him his cell phone?
Not that I heard.
To say in this video section, demonstrate Mr. Rincon willingly giving Officer Elizondo his cell phone?
Not that I saw.
Do you think he gave it willingly?
Oh, no.
To say that the video section demonstrate Officer Elizondo used force to grab the phone and hit and or push Mr. Rincon backwards in order to take possession of the cell phone?
I mean, I didn't see much contact there, but I'm not too sure what your definition of use of force is.
Did he push him back when he was taking his cell phone?
I mean, I see them walk back. I don't necessarily see like an actual push.
Did he make contact with Mr. Rincon while taking his cell phone?
Possibly, probably. Maybe.
In his, would you say in his chest area, maybe?
That I didn't see.
Would you describe the technique or actions used by the seize of Mr. Rincon's cell phone?
Excuse me.
Would you describe the technique Mr. Elizondo used to seize Mr. Rincon's cell phone?
It looks like he just tried to snatch it.
Is there a name used by the Laredo Police Department or its officers for this technique of taking someone's cell phone or other small property?
No.
During this encounter at this time, was Mr. Rincon holding his phone an illegal act?
Objection calls for legal conclusion.
You can answer.
I guess, yeah.
During this encounter at this time, was Mr. Rincon holding his phone and recording the encounter an illegal act or crime?
Objection calls for legal conclusion.
He is required to know the laws he is enforcing.
I'm allowed to object when you're asking
You
for
are.
a legal conclusion.
You are, yes. You can answer.
At this point, I would say yes.
You would say yes, it was an illegal act?
Illegal or legal?
Illegal.
Oh, no.
Let's continue to the next portion. Exhibit 3, 0235 through 0250.
Wait. Provided attached, hereby about this submittal. Tony, go ahead. George,
232 to 235?
235 through 0250.
Oh, exhibit 4.
No, that's exhibit. No, we're in exhibit 3.
232 to
235 through 0250. We didn't have that one.
3707 ID Texas. Commercial work executed.
Does this video section demonstrate Officer Elizondo directing you, Officer Fernandez, to handcuff Mr. Rincon?
I can't tell which officer I am at that point.
Does this video section depict Mr. Rincon attempting to flee?
To flee?
Uh-huh.
No.
Does this video section demonstrate that Mr. Rincon was threatening any of the officers?
Not that I could see from this video.
Does this video section demonstrate Mr. Rincon being violent or acting as a threat to anyone?
Not that I could see from this video.
This video section demonstrate there are at least 3 officers surrounding Mr. Rincon.
Yes.
This video section demonstrate that Lieutenant Ramirez was within approximately 7 feet of Mr. Rincon while he was being handcuffed.
I wouldn't be able to tell you how far he is from this video.
More or less.
It's hard to say. It's kind of far.
It doesn't have to be exact.
Objection, that's the answer.
I wouldn't be able to
Okay.
tell you.
If you know why Officer Elizondo directed you, Officer Fernandez, to handcuff Mr. Rincon,
Objection calls for speculation.
you can answer.
I mean, he felt that you needed to be detained, so
In handcuffs.
yes.
Was Mr. Rincon under arrest at this point?
No.
This video sections presented thus far demonstrate that Mr. Rincon was asked to provide his personal identification to the officers on at least 2 or more occasions.
From this video or any?
All the videos.
Yes.
Was Mr. Rincon required to produce his license per their request under the circumstances?
Required?
Required.
No.
To your knowledge, did Mr. Rincon comply with the request?
Not, I don't recall.
Was failing to provide his license a crime during this encounter?
Obstruction cause for illegal completion.
Not at this point, no.
Officer Fernandez, are you familiar with Texas Penal Code 38.02?
I would have to see what it is.
It's the failing to identify statute.
For the most part, yes.
You are. Can you, what, in general terms, can you explain what it says? What are the elements to charge someone for failing to ID?
I think it's like for somebody for failure to ID, it has to be in for a cause for arrest or something like that.
Let's look at Exhibit 4, 0235 through 0250.
Yeah, it comes out of your cell phone. Do you have any?
This video session depicts Officer Elizondo and you, Officer Fernandez, reaching into Mr. Rincon's pockets and clothing area.
Reaching into pockets, no.
What would you call you were doing at the
Patting you down for any other weapons.
Do you remember if Mr. Rincon was patted down prior to this pat down?
I do not recall.
Do you know what you were searching for?
Weapons, other weapons.
This video section accurately depicts Mr. Rincon protesting Officer Elizondo and you, Officer Fernandez, searching his pockets and person, stating, no, illegal search, man, illegal.
Yes, but we're not searching at that point.
Would you call a pat down the search?
No.
This video section depicts Officer Elizondo taking Mr. Rincon's wallet and other articles of a property of Mr. Rincon's person.
At this point, not yet, or no.
If you know, what was the purpose of Officer Elizondo taking Mr. Rincon's wallet?
Objection calls for speculation.
I do not know.
To your knowledge, Officer, at this time, was this standard protocol of the Laredo Police Department?
To pat down people? We pat down people, yes.
Yes. During this encounter, was Mr. Rincon required by law to give his wallet to any officer?
No.
Let's look at Exhibit 4, 0304 through 0308.
304 to 308.
304, 308, yes. This section of the video depicts Officer Elizondo referring to Mr. Rincon as cabron.
Objection, hearsay.
I didn't hear that part. I don't know if you can play it again.
Can we play it again? Can we raise the volume a little bit, or is it possible? If it's possible.
I can't make out what he said.
Okay. What does cabron translate in English under these circumstances?
I wouldn't know how to translate that.
If you know, did Officer Elizondo call Mr. Rincon a cabron because he was protesting the search?
Objection, speculation.
I like I said, I couldn't make out what he said, but I mean, I wouldn't know.
This time was Mr. Rincon under arrest?
No.
Now let's look at Exhibit 4, 0333 through 0346.
The sooner you answer the questions, the sooner this will be. Answer the questions.
6124. What did you mean by calm down when Mr. Rincon stated that you were injuring his hands?
Exactly that, just to calm down.
Calm down. Can you define calm or
just relax?
Relax. This video section demonstrate Officer Benavides telling Mr. Rincon, the sooner you answer a question, the sooner this will be over.
Objection, hearsay.
I didn't hear that part.
Can we play it again?
The sooner you answer the questions, the sooner this will be. Answer the questions.
6124.
So let me ask the question again. This video section demonstrate Officer Benavides telling Mr. Rincon, the sooner you answer a question, the sooner this will be over.
I think he kind of stops after the sooner you answer the questions, and then kind of there's more.
In general terms, would you say he was trying to say that?
Yeah.
Was Mr. Rincon being handcuffed in custody because he was not answering questions?
He was being detained. Yes. Not necessarily for not answering questions, but he was being detained. Yes.
Was he being detained for in handcuffs?
For the investigation that the officer Elizondo was conducting.
Do you know what questions Mr. Rincon was required to answer in order for this encounter to end?
Objection, calls for speculation.
No.
Let's go to Exhibit 4 at 0908 through 0923.
to metal. Oh. Oye.
This video section, you said in Spanish, te vas a comportar o te dejo ir. Can you translate that in English?
Te vas a,
¿Te vas a comportar? Sí o no, te dejo ir.
if you comply, yes or no, and I'll let you go. Roughly, I guess.
Can you define comply? Or what was he required to comply with?
I guess at that point you were trying to move freely when you were being detained.
He was not allowed to move.
No, because you're being detained.
Is it the Laredo Police Department policies to handcuff people for verbally protesting?
At that point, the investigator was conducting an investigation as to what was going on. So yes, we detain people when we're investigating certain things.
Let me ask the question again. Is there policies in the Laredo Police Department to handcuff people for protesting verbally?
For protesting, no. Verbally, no.
Let's go to Exhibit 4, 1055 through 1125.
¿A quién eres tú? ¿Ah? ¿No sabes quién es? Pero pues, you understand what we're doing, right? So necessary of the stuff. Right now, that's 36, 8, 11, 2 David. You understand where we're coming from? Yeah. I mean, it's illegal. It's what we have to do. It's what we're going to do. Es ilegal lo que están haciendo.
The purpose of 124 does we return to 2015 Chevy SUV registered Mayan Rincon out of 11 Sacramento. I know that the
It's not a misinterpretation. Being suspicious no es un crime. I'm not arguing you. Okay. All this is being done in good faith. That's it.
Do you agree that in this video section I asked if the cuffs were necessary?
Yes.
You agree responded so far yes?
Yes.
What did you mean by so far yes?
Because we weren't done with our investigation. So you were still detained at that point, yes.
Would you agree? You also stated it's what we have to do. It's what we're gonna do.
Yes.
And what is that? What you have to do? Do you have to handcuff everyone you detain?
In certain situations. I mean, it was either that or put you in the back of the unit. So at that point, it was easier just to detain you in handcuffs.
So under these circumstances, handcuffs were necessary?
I would say yes.
Okay. Now let's look at Exhibit 4, 1810 through 1903.
That's your problem. My problem, that's my problem, that's your problem. My clarity, listen up, man, listen up, that's your problem. Okay? Come on, just stop. I kindly asked you, lady, are you border patrol? The lady just to know. Okay, well, there's either ID, for whatever reason you think that you want the ID or something. No, that's your problem. That is your problem, man. You do a better job of identifying yourself. Later, I'm letting you up. And that's about to be exchanged. No, report this, brother. Carrying this late at night is not legal. Listen, that's your problem. You're not a good listener. Okay. We're crossing the street. That's a public park. You own that side. But that's a city park. So listen up. Listen up. That's a city park that we patrol. Okay. There was just a shooting on the Mexico side, where a lady on this side got shot. Okay. Let me see the facts. There's plenty of witnesses. They're all cops, man.
This is approximately 15 minutes after Elizondo took Mr. Rincon's cell phone wallet. Does this section of video depict you being directed by Officer Elizondo to free him or otherwise to remove handcuffs from Mr. Rincon?
That video, you look like you were already without the handcuffs.
This section of video exhibit 4 at 1810 through 1903 depict Mr. Rincon after receiving his cell phone from Officer Elizondo, activating the camera and recording Officer Elizondo and this encounter for the second time?
Yes.
Does this video section demonstrate Officer Elizondo taking Mr. Rincon's cell phone from his hand for the second time?
Yes.
If you know, did Officer Elizondo turn off Mr. Rincon's cell phone recording application or function at this point?
I don't know.
This video section demonstrates that Officer Elizondo withheld Mr. Rincon's phone from him and then several seconds later told him to place it in his pocket.
Yes.
If you know, what was the reason for Officer Elizondo taking Mr. Rincon's cell phone for a second time?
Speculation.
I don't know.
You can look at this from a different angle. That would be Exhibit 5B, 00 through 0038. I'm gonna have to play it on my iPad. Exhibit 5B.
That's your problem. That is your problem, man. If you do a better job of identifying yourself late at night, you're carrying this. Oh, record this, brother. You're carrying this late at night. It's not legal. Listen, that's your problem. You're not a good listener. Okay. You're crossing the street. That's a public park. You own that side. But that's a city park that we, listen up. That's a city park that we patrol. And there was just a shooting on the Mexico side where a lady on this side got shot. Okay.
Does this video section essentially depict the same account as my previous exhibit?
Yes.
If you know, why was Mr. Rincon held for approximately 20 minutes in this encounter?
For at least investigator Elizoto's investigation.
What crime was Mr. Rincon suspected of having committed?
Objection, speculation, legal conclusion.
I wouldn't understand. I would not know what investigator Elizoto was, what crime he believed was being committed.
Do you recall Mr. Rincon stating that you, Officer Fernandez, injured his shoulder when Officer Elizondo and you searched his pockets?
No.
Don't recall?
No.
Do you recall that Mr. Rincon requested EMS assistance on at least 3 occasions after you injured his shoulder?
No.
You don't recall? What was the reason for not contacting EMS?
I wouldn't know. I don't remember.
What did Lieutenant Ramirez, batch 640, say to you about this encounter?
Objection, hearsay.
I don't remember speaking to him about it.
Officer, do you believe that your conduct and actions during this encounter with Mr. Rincon did not violate any Laredo Police Department policies or existing laws at this time?
Objection, legal conclusion.
No.
Are you familiar with United States Appellate Court for the Fifth Circuit ruling in Turner v. Driver from February 2017?
No.
Did you have any training prior to this encounter regarding this ruling that citizens have the right to record public servants in the performance of their official duties?
Not that I can remember.
You're familiar with the United States Supreme Court ruling in Terry v. Ohio from 1968?
Yes.
Did you receive any training regarding this ruling prior to this encounter? That during a detainment, only an external pat-down of a subject believed to be armed and dangerous is allowed?
Yes.
You did receive training?
We just covered it in class, so yeah.
Did you have any training relating to this ruling that a person detained who may flee is a danger to the officers or others is to be handcuffed if not under arrest?
We haven't gone through that, like worded like that, but yeah, yes.
For purposes of possible award of punitive damage to the plaintiff in this case, can you approximate your net worth in dollars at this time?
No.
Do you recall how many vehicles you own?
Own? One.
Do you own any boats?
No.
Do you recall how much real estate do you own or have an interest in?
One, I guess. My house.
How much were you paid by Laredo Police Department last year?
Believe it was like 108.
108? Okay, last 2 questions. If this encounter were to take place today, would you conduct yourself exactly as you did back in April 27, 2019, or would you change anything?
Objection calls for speculation.
Probably the same way.
Same way? No more questions.
I was like,
This is the end of the deposition. The time is 10:31. We're off the record.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez.
ya sé, oh, quiero.
We getting ready to get into the last one. This one looks like it's going to be one of the good ones just by seeing his face on it now. But this whole scenario is crazy. So you got people that are armed trying to protect their homes in their neighborhood. And actually, I think they were on their own property at this point. And the cops come up and violate all their rights just right off the bat, like they do. They feel like if you have a firearm, then they feel like they're entitled to. Now, they're actually trained to violate your rights if they see that you have a firearm. Or if you tell them you have a firearm, they're trained to violate your rights at that point.
He will be required to provide some identification.
Was Mr. Rincon required to produce his license per their request?
Well, based on the situation and that he was told about the incident, I do believe
He was required by law.
he will be required to provide some identification, either verbal or physical.
Could you please state that law you're referring to?
I don't know.
You don't?
No, sir.
What crime was Mr. Rincon suspected to having committed?
He was just asked to identify himself. He was explaining about the incident in Laredo.
So you would say failing to ID?
Well, actually not failing to ID. They were telling him to identify himself first of all, because he was carrying a weapon in a public place, which Mr. Rincon claimed to be his property.
Was carrying a weapon on this particular event on his private property an illegal act?
No, sir.
Gonna have to stop the recording.
Judy, back up.
We are on the record. This is the video deposition of Lieutenant Ricardo Ramirez in the matter of Ismael Rincon versus City of Laredo, Texas, et al., cause number 521 CV45, pending in the United States District Court, Southern District of Texas, Laredo Division. We're located in Texas Pictorial, 2611 East Elm Street, Laredo, Texas. Today's date is July 11th, 2023. The time is 11:16 a.m. My name is George Gonzalez. I'm the certified legal video specialist and the notary public. Will counsel please introduce themselves and whom they represent?
Alicia Cray on behalf of Lieutenant Ramirez.
Ismael Rincon, pro se plaintiff on this case.
Lieutenant Ramirez, would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may lower your hand. You may proceed.
Morning, Mr. Ramirez.
Morning.
As you may be aware, I'm a pro se plaintiff in this matter for which you're being deposed. Ismael Rincon versus other officers with whom you work in the city of Laredo. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you mind if I refer to you as lieutenant or prefer other?
Lieutenant.
Just Just want to let you know that I will try and make this deposition as brief as is reasonable. We are scheduled for this in a couple hours, but hopefully you can complete this in less time. In the questions, any reference to myself will be as Mr. Rincon, okay? If I ask a question you do not understand, just let me know, and I'll try to repeat or rephrase it for you. Please only respond to the question asked. If you do not, I will immediately interrupt and direct you to answer only the question asked. Otherwise, I think we can proceed, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go over a couple things. I'm going to remind you that you're under oath, which means you've agreed and are required to tell the truth. You plan to do that today, right?
Yes, sir.
For this deposition today, we're going to try and preserve a clear record. So when I ask a question, I would appreciate a yes or a no for an answer using ordinary words instead of hand gestures alone, as it will make the transcript more clear. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Also, if you would like to take a brief break, you're welcome to. Just let me know, and we will. However, I'd like to ask, we will not break in mid questions. Do you have any questions before we begin?
No, sir.
As far as my exhibits, Exhibit 3 and 4 will be referencing to body camera and dash cam of Officer Benavides from the April 27, 2019 encounter on my property. This footage was provided by the Laredo Police Department in response to my later public information request. Exhibit 5A through C reference in this deposition refer to footage from my cell phone camera from the same incident. Will you please take your name for the record, your full name?
Ricardo Ramirez.
Are you currently taking medications that would interfere with your ability to complete this deposition today?
No, sir.
Do you have any medical conditions that would interfere with the ability to proceed with the deposition today?
No, sir.
Did your attorney help you prepare for this deposition?
No,
Objection
sir.
privilege.
Who is your current employer?
City of Laredo Police Department.
What is your present job title?
I'm a lieutenant.
How long have you been employed by the city of Laredo?
36 years, 9 months.
Were you employed by the city of Laredo on April 27, 2019?
Yes, sir.
What was your job title at that time?
Lieutenant.
How long had you been employed as a peace officer with the city of Laredo at that time?
How long was I employed? I believe it was, makes it like 34, 35 years.
What is your present age?
Present age, it's 59.
Were you born in the United States of America?
No, sir. I'm a naturalized citizen.
Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No, sir.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime of moral turpitude?
No, sir.
Do you know what a crime of moral turpitude is?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain briefly?
Well, I would say something that either is going to damage my reputation or the city or the department.
Fair enough. It means involving a crime involving dishonesty and fraud of that nature. Do you have any convictions of that?
No, sir.
No? Have you ever been sued for civil rights violations relating to your employment as an officer?
No, sir.
Have you ever been deposed in federal civil lawsuit?
No, sir.
Have you read the original complaint or any of the amended complaints on this matter?
No, sir.
Have you watched the videos attached to the complaints in the past 2 months?
Past 2 months, no, sir.
Were you employed by the city of Laredo as a peace officer on the date of the encounter with Mr. Rincon, April 2019?
Yes, sir.
What was your work schedule on Friday, April 26, 2019 and Saturday, April 27, 2019, if you
My-
recall?
My work schedule, it's Monday to Friday, 8 to 5.
On that day, if you
On
recall.
that day, yes, sir.
Was that day shift?
It's a morning shift, 8 in the morning to 5 p.m.
Do you recall the shooting of April 26, 2019 at approximately 10:30 p.m. involving Maria, the victim of Buckwheat Drive in Laredo, Texas?
Yes, sir.
Was it believed by the investigators to have been a .50 caliber weapon fired from the border in Mexico, whose bullet allegedly struck her in the cheek?
Yes.
Do you know if the crime was solved?
I don't recall.
Do you recall what were you doing at the time of the April 26, 2019 shooting?
I believe it was late at night, right?
Mhm.
So I was off. I was a lieutenant for the homicide section. So I was home. I got called to
Were on
go.
call?
Yeah.
Did you prepare and submit any reports regarding the shooting?
Did I?
Uh-huh.
No, sir.
This particular day of work, were you alone or was there another officer with you?
At the time of shooting?
At the time of your duties, were you patrolling by yourself or
Well,
someone?
I'm always on myself.
Okay. Were you wearing body-worn camera during this encounter with Mr. Rincon?
No, sir.
Why not?
Because I was in the plainclothes section,
Oh.
detective section.
You're not required to wear a body?
No, sir.
At approximately 12:43 a.m., April 27, 2019, a couple hours later after the shooting, did you arrive on scene in the area of 1102 South Meadow Avenue in Laredo, Texas?
I did arrive at the scene, yes.
Were you in your police cruiser?
Unmarked unit.
Mark. What prompted you to go to this location? Were you dispatched, routine patrol, pursuit?
No, I was the supervisor for the detective section, so I was working.
If you remember, did you get a notice from dispatch? Or
No, I had the
what
radio.
prompted you to go?
I had the radio on, so
You self-initiated?
yes, sir.
What do you recall was stated in general terms? If you cannot recall specifically, what was said in the dispatch regarding officer's need for backup?
Well, that I remember, it's officer investigator then, and it's still investigator Ernesto Lizondo called it over the radio that he got stopped someone with a rifle.
How long would you estimate or guess it took you to arrive after receiving the notice? Less than 5 minutes? More than 5
I
minutes?
would say within 5 to 7 minutes.
Were you required to appear at this location?
Being the supervisor, yes.
Yes. This encounter took place in Mr. Rincon's property?
If I recall correctly, it was on the street that Mr. Rincon claimed to be his property.
Okay, let's look at Officer Benavides' body-worn footage of this incident. Exhibit 4, 00 through 0025.
It's a Luger 1022. Yeah, that's a Luger 1022 right there. You guys notice that? You see this or not?
Do you agree that this video section depicts the location of the encounter with Mr. Rincon?
I believe so.
Would you agree there are at least 5 Laredo Police Department cruisers on scene?
The time I got there, yes.
Would you agree there are at least, appears to be at least 7 officers on scene?
Could be.
Okay, let's look Exhibit 4, 0220 through 0240.
You're walking around with a better night. Yeah, pero ahorita. Yeah, it comes out of your assault on metal. Do you have any?
Hey, there was your company, just a great
In this video section of Officer Benavides' body cam, can you identify yourself?
I don't see myself there.
If you want, we can play it again. Do you want?
Yeah.
Can we play it again?
You're walking around with a better night. Yeah, pero ahorita. It could be easy, but yeah, it comes out of your assault on metal.
Is that you? And
I would say the plain
shirt?
clothes.
Okay. Can you identify the following officers in this video? Officer Elizondo,
Officer Elizondo, and I believe Officer Benavides. And I can't make the others.
Officer Fernandez,
I didn't clearly saw Fernandez. I'm sorry.
do you know the person behind me handcuffing me is Officer Fernandez?
From the back part, I don't recall.
Who else can you identify besides those 3 officers?
Like I said, it's only the 2 officers and myself.
Okay. Let's look at Officer Benavides' dash cam footage from this incident recording. Exhibit 3 at 147 through 0235.
You want to go to Exhibit 3, 147 to 235?
Exhibit 3, 147, 235. Yes.
Someone took bedtime of that. No, I didn't break birth music. Promotion de store. Ese día la gente.
You can attack everybody about it.
Huh?
When you provided the tax, everybody about this in the middle.
Tony, go ahead.
Is that Officer Elizondo reaching to take Mr. Rincon's cell phone?
And what part of the video? Can you replay it?
Can we replay?
You get the text, everybody about it. When you provided the text, everybody about this and now.
Is that Officer Elizondo reaching to take Mr. Rincon's off?
Yes, sir.
Do you know why Mr. Rincon's cell phone is being seized?
Objection calls for speculation.
You can answer.
I know.
Have we played 5A? Yeah. Okay, you're gonna look at another angle from the same portion. It's gonna be Exhibit 5A, 00 through 0038.
No, that's your meeting. No, that's your meeting. 0002-864. Why are we making an issue? Porque it shouldn't be an issue, todo es nuestra propiedad. It shouldn't be, we just want to make sure. We can report on you. Just give me your name. Go somewhere. Just give me your name. You see my name here. No, Ed. You're gonna talk to him right now. ¿Cómo te llamas tú? What's your name? Hey. ¿Cómo te llamas? Listen to me. Listen to me. What's your name? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Does this video section depict you in frame near Mr. Rincon?
Yes, sir.
Does this video section demonstrate Officer Elizondo walking away from the hood of his cruiser towards Mr. Rincon?
I believe so.
Does this video section demonstrate Officer Elizondo reaching and apparently taking Mr. Rincon's cell phone while he is recording the encounter?
Yes, sir.
Does this video section demonstrate Officer Elizondo approaching? Oh, I'm sorry. I asked a question. Does this video section demonstrate that Mr. Rincon's phone has been taken from Officer Elizondo?
From Officer Elizondo or from? Can you repeat that question?
Let me read again. I'm sorry. Does this video section demonstrate that Mr. Rincon's phone has been taken from him by Officer Elizondo?
Yes, sir.
Did Officer Elizondo ask Mr. Rincon to give him his cell phone?
I don't recall.
Would you say that in this video section that Mr. Rincon willingly gave Mr. Elizondo his cell phone?
No, sir.
How would you describe the technique Mr. Elizondo used to seize Mr. Rincon's cell phone?
I don't understand your question.
How would you describe the technique or the way he seized the cell phone from Mr. Rincon?
Just grabbing the phone. That's it.
Would you agree it may be a snatch?
It's a grabbing of it.
Is there a name used by Laredo Police Department or its officers for this technique, taking someone's cell phone or other small property?
No, sir. No.
During this encounter at this time, was Mr. Rincon holding his phone and recording the encounter an illegal act or crime?
Objection calls for legal conclusion.
You can answer.
Yes, sir.
It was an illegal act?
The what?
You want me to ask a question again?
Yes.
During this encounter at this time, was Mr. Rincon holding his phone and recording the encounter an illegal act or crime?
Was it an illegal act or illegal act?
Illegal.
Illegal, no, sir.
Okay, let's continue with the next portion of Exhibit 3, 0235 through 0250.
232 to 250.
235.
No, I didn't.
Well, you provided the tax, you my budget and mail.
No, go ahead.
George Mary Sam, 0798, Texas. Commercial Ford Gas Visit.
This video section demonstrates Officer Elizondo directing Officer Fernandez to handcuff Mr. Rincon.
It's too far away. I can't actually see.
At any time during this encounter, did you observe Mr. Rincon attempting to flee?
No.
This video section demonstrates that Mr. Rincon was threatening any of the officers.
No, sir.
This video section demonstrates Mr. Rincon being violent or acting as a threat to anyone.
Not a threat.
Being violent.
I would say it was a little bit vocal, outspoken. That's about it.
Is there a law that allows you to detain someone for being vocal or being protesting verbally?
Well, it all depends on the situation, sir.
So it may be.
Yes, sir.
This video section demonstrates that there are at least 3 officers surrounding Mr. Rincon.
Yes, sir.
This video section demonstrates that you, Lieutenant Ramirez, was within approximately 7 feet of Mr. Rincon while he was being handcuffed.
Yes, sir.
If you know, why did Officer Elizondo direct Officer Fernandez to handcuff Mr. Rincon?
Objection calls for speculation.
You can answer.
You would have to ask him.
Was Mr. Rincon under arrest at this point?
Not that I know.
To the video sections presented thus far demonstrate that Mr. Rincon was asked to provide his personal identification to the officers on at least 2 or more occasions.
From what I gathered, as I arrived, yes, he was asked to identify himself.
Was Mr. Rincon required to produce his license per their request?
Well, it's up to the individual. I mean, but based on the situation that he had a gun, so I would say not required. But I mean, that would be just a matter of interpretation as far as him giving his information, which Mr. Rincon did not provide.
To your knowledge, did Mr. Rincon comply with this request?
From what I saw, no.
Was failing to provide his license a crime during this encounter?
No.
Lieutenant, are you familiar with Texas Penal Code 38.02?
I would need to see that. But by memory, I don't know.
That would be the failing to ID statute. Are you familiar with that statute?
Yes, sir.
You are? Can you, to your knowledge, what does that code say regarding the elements for that particular crime?
So like I said, an individual was identified following a criminal act.
No. Let's look at Exhibit 4, 0235 through 0250.
Yeah, it comes out of your cell phone. It'll. Do you have any?
Hey, there was your company, just a great.
Legal search, right? Thank you.
This is video section depict Officer Elizondo and Officer Fernandez reaching into Mr. Rincon's pocket and clothing area.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what they were searching for?
I don't know. Possible weapons.
This is video section accurately depict Mr. Rincon protesting Officer Elizondo and Officer Fernandez searching his pockets and person by stating, no, illegal search, man, illegal.
Oh, yes.
This video section depict Officer Elizondo taking Mr. Rincon's wallet or other articles of property of Mr. Rincon's person.
I see him reaching for something. I don't know what he got.
If you know what was the purpose of Officer Elizondo taking Mr. Rincon's wallet,
Objection, speculation.
you can answer.
I don't know.
To your knowledge, at this time, was this standard protocol for Laredo Police Department
Well, if it's a pat down, yes.
to retrieve items from
If
pockets?
it does, they also believes it's either contraband or a weapon, yes.
During this encounter, was Mr. Rincon required by any law to give his wallet to any officer?
Objection, legal conclusion.
You can answer.
I don't understand your question.
During this encounter, was Mr. Rincon obligated to provide his ID when officers requested?
Well, based on the situation and that he was told about the incident, I do believe
He was required by law.
he will be required to provide some identification, either verbal or physical.
Could you please state that law you're referring to?
I don't know.
You don't?
No, sir.
Okay, let's look at Exhibit 4, 0304 through 0308. During this section of video, does it depict Officer Elizondo referring to Mr. Rincon as cabron?
I didn't hear that.
Can we play it again? Do you need for us to play it again?
Yeah.
Can you play it again, please? Does this video section depict Officer Elizondo referring to Mr. Rincon as
I hear
cabron?
tennis rank, and other than that, I don't hear cabron.
What does cabron translate to under these circumstances in English?
In English, it would say like tough guy.
If you know, did Officer Elizondo call Mr. Rincon a cabron because he protested the search of his person?
Objection, speculation.
You can answer.
I mean, you would have to ask him.
At this point, was Mr. Rincon under arrest?
No, sir.
Let's look at Exhibit 4, 0342 through 0346.
That'll be, want to answer the question?
6124.
This video section demonstrate Officer Benavides telling Mr. Rincon to answer the questions.
He's asking questions.
Is he telling Mr. Rincon to answer?
I didn't hear that.
You want
You want to replay? Because I didn't hear him.
Can we replay, please?
Questions is going to be, want to answer the question?
6124.
Is that from 0342?
42 to 46.
Let me make a correction. It's going to be 0339 through 0346.
Me está lastimando la mano. As soon as you answer the questions, it's going to be, want to answer the question?
6124.
Does this section demonstrate Officer Benavides telling Mr. Rincon the sooner you answer the questions, the sooner this will be over?
I believe it's Elizondo, the one who says not Benavides. Can you replay it? Because I think I hear Elizondo's voice.
The person wearing the body-worn camera is Officer Benavides.
Okay.
I believe Elizondo was still in the patrol in his unit.
Me está lastimando la mano. As soon as you answer the questions, it's going to be, want to answer the question?
6124.
This video section demonstrates Officer Benavides telling Mr. Rincon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Was Mr. Rincon being held handcuffed and in custody because he was not answering questions?
He was in custody, but it was not because of not answering questions.
Why was he detained and in handcuffs?
Like I said, I mean, you will need to ask the officers.
Do you know what question or questions Mr. Rincon was required to answer in order to end this encounter?
No, sir.
Now let's look at Exhibit 4, 1810 through 1903. This is approximately 15 minutes after Officer Elizondo took Mr. Rincon's cell phone and wallet.
You do a better job of identifying yourself. It doesn't. Later, doesn't lighten you up. Hey, that's about to be changed. No, report it, but carrying this late at night is not legal. Yes, and that's a problem. You're not a good listener. Okay. We're crossing the street. I have a public park. No, that's a. That's the safety park. So listen up. Listen up. Okay. That's the city park that we patrol. Okay. There was just a shooting on the Mexico side where a lady on this side got shot. Okay. There's plenty of witnesses. They're all cops now.
This video section depicts Officer Fernandez being directed by Officer Elizondo to free him or otherwise remove Mr. Rincon's handcuffs.
Yes, sir.
Did he comply with this directive?
I believe so. One hand is out.
Does this section of video in Exhibit 4, 1810 through 1903 depict Mr. Rincon after receiving his cell phone from Officer Elizondo, activating the camera and recording Officer Elizondo and this encounter for a second time?
I believe so.
This video section demonstrates Officer Elizondo taking Mr. Rincon's cell phone from his hand for a second time?
Yes, sir.
If you know, did Officer Elizondo turn off Mr. Rincon's cell phone recording function application at this point?
I don't know.
This video section demonstrates that Officer Elizondo withheld Mr. Rincon's phone from him and then several seconds later told him to place it in his pocket.
Yes, sir.
If you know, what was the reason for Officer Elizondo taking Mr. Rincon's cell phone for a second time?
I don't know, sir.
We can look at the same event from a different angle. That would be Exhibit 5B, 00 through 0038.
That's your problem. That is your problem, man. If you do a better job of identifying yourself late at night, you're carrying this.
Hey, it's about to be exchanged.
No, record this, brother. You're carrying this late at night.
It's not illegal.
Listen, that's your problem. You're not a good listener.
Okay.
We're crossing the street. That's a public park. You own that side. But that's a city park that. Oh, listen up. That's a city park that we patrol.
Okay.
There was just a shooting on the Mexico side where a lady on this side got shot. Okay.
This video section depicts essentially the same account to the previous exhibit just presented to you.
Yes, sir.
If you know, why was Mr. Rincon held for approximately 20 minutes?
Well, he was explaining about the situation that had happened and the situation he had.
What crime was Mr. Rincon suspected to having committed?
He was just asked to identify himself. He was explaining about the incident in Laredo.
So you would say failing to ID?
Well, actually not failing to ID. They were telling him to identify himself first of all, because he was carrying a weapon in a public place, which Mr. Rincon claimed to be his property.
Was carrying a weapon on this particular event on his private property an illegal act?
No, sir.
We the best so far.
Do you recall Mr. Rincon stating to Officer Fernandez that he had injured his shoulder when Officer Elizondo and Officer Fernandez searched his pockets during the initial moments of the encounter?
I don't recall.
Do you recall Mr. Rincon requested EMS assistance on at least 3 occasions?
No, sir.
What was the reason for not contacting EMS?
I mean, we need to ask the officers there.
You were their direct supervisor, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are they required to call EMS when the citizen is asked, a person that's being detained asked?
Yes, sir.
You're required?
Yes, sir.
Let's look at Exhibit 5C, 00 through 0040.
So, batch number? So, batch number?
894.
894. Okay.
What do you want?
What, go ahead and complain?
You don't want to identify? That's why I'm writing you up.
Which is?
Yeah.
No.
Somebody that way too.
Okay, just the batch number.
I don't have to. Just.
No? No, sir, what else?
It's your property.
No, sir, le preguntamos al chief.
So, you see your property, you will check, you clear, that's it.
Near the end of this video, Mr. Rincon asked you for your name and badge number. You told him the scene was clear, correct?
Yeah, but once I told you you will check, you will release.
When you said the scene was clear from what?
Basically, that we did check the weapon. The weapon was not either stolen, I mean, whatever in the situation on hand, it's, I mean, there's no other investigation to be followed.
Were you required to run serial numbers whenever you detain someone?
When we
they have firearms?
when we encounter a weapon, yes, we do run serial numbers.
You are required to run it?
Yes, sir.
Did you provide your name and badge number to Mr. Rincon?
No, sir.
Yes. Why not?
That's an son no need to.
Is there any Laredo Police Department policy requiring uniformed or ununiformed officers to identify?
A uniform officer.
Okay. Do you believe that the conduct or actions of the officers on scene, including yourself during this encounter with Mr. Rincon, did not violate any Laredo Police Department existing policies at the time?
No, sir.
You were a lieutenant, Laredo Police Department at this incident, correct?
Yes, sir.
Were you the senior officer on scene?
I believe so.
As a senior officer on scene, please state your duties and responsibilities.
Was not the senior officer. I mean, I would say the highest ranking officer.
Mhm.
It's to oversee that the situation is taken care of.
Okay. Can you detail a little bit more your duties and responsibilities as far as your supervising position?
Like I said, it's for the supervisor to oversee that everything's being taken care of. All the angles of the case are carried properly, and including for the detainee or whoever's we're interviewing or interrogating, for him to provide the information.
Are you required to supervise officers and make sure they do not violate any statutes or laws?
Yes, sir.
The responsibilities include overseeing and directing the conduct of the officers to make sure they comply with policies and procedures, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the United States Appellate Court for the Fifth Circuit ruling in Turner v. Driver from February 2017?
I don't recall.
Did you have any training prior to this encounter regarding this ruling that citizens have the right to record public servants in their performance of their official duties?
Not that I'm aware.
You did not have any training? Are you familiar with the United States Supreme Court ruling in Terry v. Ohio in 1968?
We need to see the statute.
Are you familiar with it personally?
I've heard of it, but I don't recall.
Did you have any training regarding this ruling prior to the encounter that during a detainment, only an external pat-down of a suspect believed to be armed and dangerous is allowed?
Yes, sir.
You did receive training?
Well, the trainings that we have, yes. I mean, we pat down an individual, like I said before. I mean, it's either if you find something that would resemble narcotics or illegal substances or a weapon, then you can check it out.
Okay. Do you have any training relating to this ruling that only a person detained who may flee is a danger to officers or otherwise is to be handcuffed if not under arrest?
Oh, well, the individual at that time, he was detained because he was refusing to identify.
So because the individual was refusing to identify, the officers were required to handcuff Mr. Rincon?
Well, the fact that he had a weapon, he might have other weapons in his possession.
Did you observe any pat downs prior to them handcuffing Mr. Rincon?
No, sir.
Okay, last couple questions. If this encounter were to take place today, would you conduct yourself exactly as you did back in April 27, 2019, or would you change anything?
Objection, speculation.
You can answer.
We'll do the same.
Same thing?
Yes, sir.
No changes? No more questions.
Order, sir.
This is the end of the deposition. The time is 12:09. We're off the record.
All right, y'all. So that's the end of the deposition. To be honest, this cop actually answered the questions the best way out of all of them, in my opinion. Not that he was correct in what they did, but he answered the questions the best to me. He was honest in a lot of it, which is very odd. So yeah, so what are y'all thoughts on it? I'm gonna say he was the best. He probably was one of the best officers on this scene. Yeah, because everybody else is the first one that they that was in the deposition. He was very arrogant and he was very arrogant, and he was answering the question like they were just having a conversation together, not like he was in a deposition. Yeah, that's why I say this cop here that's in this scene, he did the best job. If all of them would have answered like he did, then they might have a chance in the deposition, well, in the trial, even though they still violated the rights of this man, which honestly, that's pretty much it. But this cop here, I think he was the best. If you ever have to deal with the police, you want to deal with officer like him, because he was honest for the most part, and it seemed like he had more sense than a lot of them do. He was just going based on his ego feelings, you know. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. I'm gonna see what happened with this case. So until next time, I might come on a little bit later and show a video for a pre. I don't know if y'all know about a pre, but he was pulled over and they took him to jail for having tinted window, which was insane. But the way he was going out, the way he was going to test, like they say he was on cocaine, which is crazy. But that's what they said, and they put him through a field sobriety test, and that was just hilarious. But so I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. Until next time, it'll be on.